Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Logic, and this is Mr. Epsiode.
Hello.
And we are doing a Star Citizen podcast about all the latest and greatest things that have happened since last time we did one, which was about 2 weeks ago.
Lots of cool stuff.
Yeah, some very fun and interesting and very exciting things, I should say, really. First thing we're going to go over, I think, is the burn down, because that's obviously the biggest news of the week.
Yep.
So let me start that up there. So, looks like we went to ETF on a late Thursday night. For Friday for you, probably.
Yeah, probably would have been. It was good news. You know, we were all been wondering whether it would actually get the first build up to the ETF this week, and it's happened, which is great.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. I mean, I saw it was coming, and I was like, wow, it hasn't happened yet. And then all of a sudden popped on Thursday. So, very surprising.
Yeah, the burn down in this week's ATV was really, really enjoyable to watch, because it just goes to show what went into the whole lead up to them finally going, yep, let's do it.
There's a lot of meetings.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they've got that many, that many studios now. They can have meetings across continents, and handovers from LA to the UK, and obviously in UK including Frankfurt. It's it must have been lots of very heated ones. But to be honest, it was very professionally run as well. The project managers were not afraid to speak up to the other directors to say, well, you need to tell us if something's not right. Because if you don't, then we're not going to know any different, which is good to see that everybody's fighting their corners and doing their job properly, not being overawed by, whatever Chris / Aaron says goes, which ultimately it is. But obviously with these meetings, they still are able to say, no, wait on, we need to know if this is going on.
No, they've been doing great. I was very impressed with their, sort of way, especially Sean, who looked a bit sheepish or something at some points, like he did something wrong or something like that. But he's like, yeah, I'll get on it. I'll get it done, which is great to see.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I did notice in the previous week's burn down, which we've decided for a slight change to our formats, whilst we're still going to probably do weekly, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're only going to talk about the most recent burn down notes rather than going back, because it was ultimately pointless. So that's why we're not going back to the previous weeks, because ultimately it's been superseded anyway. Nobody wants to hear that. We'll talk about the ATV content, of course, but not the burn down.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go. Just, save some viewership time. They don't have to listen to stuff they probably already know, because it's been out for over a week, information. So, I think that's the best way to go for now. Chris looks rather pleased with himself in this burn down. I got to be fair. I didn't see him smile so much during, if you watch it over the course of from the 2nd of October to the 5th of October. But the 5th of October, he's got a big cheesy grin on his face, which is just like, and he's thinking about Derek Smart, saying that motherfucker is going to suck this or something.
Well, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't even think about it. But he's going to have an awful lot of.
I think he's thinking about his detractors. I think there's a lot of detractors.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just the fact that finally he's excited that 800 external people are going to be able to get their hands on and feedback and give them their review, if you like, of all the work that they've done up to this point. Because obviously all we saw at Gamescom was only a very small slice of what 3.0 is. So now the Evocati will be quantum jumping all over the system and exploring the whole thing, and it'll be good for them to finally have external people testing it.
Yeah, it will be. I think they're the scope of the testing is very, as they explain later on, the scope of the testing is limited to sort of like go to here, explore sort of thing. Nothing really to do with necessarily combat or commodity trading or anything like that at the moment.
Yeah, it's just the joy of being able to get into your ship and go and land on the planet, take off, and then go and land on a different one. And and that must be great. Hopefully it'll broaden a lot of players' horizons away from the simple pew pew, which has been the focus for so long, to literally just doing something, flying about.
I think maybe for a little bit that might be the case, but I think it'll eventually circle back around to pew pew.
It's a big part of the game.
Because eventually people are gonna, they're gonna see a lot of the world and be like, okay, well, I've seen a lot, and I don't know necessarily I'll see anything else new. Then I'll just stop pew pewing again. I mean, that's the way I think it'll happen. It's the same in a lot of MMOs. When you start off, not everyone's killing each other, but by the time you get like a week or two, three or 4 or 5 in, everyone starts trying to kill each other because they don't have anything else to do. But
I expect by the time the first wave of PTU testers get in, the ETF would have obviously got to the point where they've been told to start
but they
testing the combat side of it.
They may have new content as well, like commodity trading. So I think there's tons of stuff to do. So I think it'll be a lot longer than most people think before it degenerates into sort of a gank fest, or at least a major gank fest. Because
I wonder whether they'll.
It's going to be gank fest until they put stuff in to like combat that. It's going to be a bit of a gank fest.
I wonder whether the criminal system that they talked about in the roll up to this is actually going to be in the first build. Guess we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, I do wonder whether there's going to be an ETF build of the next step of things that they've put in alongside PTU. So you'll have ETF doing this now. Can you fly about and do stuff? When they're happy with that, will they put that into the first wave of PTU guys, and then ETF get focused and they get a new build which includes cargo missions and things like that, and they kind of like stepping stone away to it getting released.
Do you think,
or the ETF have to test absolutely everything before the PTU gets it? In which case, we could be looking at, November/December PTU release, let alone live.
Yeah,
but whatever, it takes as long as it takes. It's good that it's out there.
I think it's likely that live could be either Thanksgiving or Christmas. I think, but anyway, besides that, I think with I think they mentioned on Spectrum that concierge will be in the first wave. Do you know how many concierge people there are?
I don't know. I expect there's probably a good chunk.
Because there's 800 Evocati.
It's in the thousands. I don't think there's tens of thousands lunatics, but there's definitely thousands of people who've spent over the concierge threshold to actually get into it. I don't know. It'd be an interesting thing to actually ask the devs. Or simply just asking.
I'm just curious how many testers are there going to be at the first wave? Because I don't think the subscribers will get first wave. I think they'll get second wave. That's from what I gather.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there'll be a good number of additional. So there'll be multiples of additional testers over and above the ETF. I wouldn't be surprised if there's, I don't know, I'm guessing now, 5,000 plus.
Sort of what I was guessing as well. But
and that will be a good number, because it'll also mean they'll be able to do some additional stress testing on the servers too, because they can obviously build out the number of instances because of the number of additional players
in a server. Still,
you'll just stress test the environment, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's
800 already will, but
I know, but how many servers is in that? 800. That's like that's like 40, 50. 68, 50 servers or something close to that.
And it might even be more than that, depending on whether they have servers for Olisar on its own, because it's big.
Yeah, well, that's true. I don't know if they're splitting it up at the moment, though. I think they're just limiting it to a specific maximum size because they can't split it up at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. You're probably right.
It will limit how many people you will see in the world, though. If you have a massive area with 3 planets and massive amounts of space stations and a planetoid, that's a lot of area to cover for 24 people.
I mean, you stick 24 people on just on the smallest of the moons, and you probably wouldn't see each other that often.
Yeah, I think that's
unless you're just orbiting the planet, and even then it'd take a while, depending on the range of sensors, obviously.
I think you're going to see a lot less people than you think. I mean, maybe you'll see some on Olisar if there's a specific area, like Area 51, where people go to buy stuff and whatnot. But out in the wild, I think you might find it, especially if you're off the beaten track, like if you're on some sort the dark side of the moon, whatever. I don't you see anybody.
No, but that's fine. Obviously, when they start wanting to test the combat, they'll either have to increase the cap or reduce the playable area size, just to simulate what the load on the servers would be, and then they can extrapolate it out from there.
Well, they got to, because once they start adding multiple solar systems, I mean, people will be spread out, over massive areas. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they were talking about having, one server per system, and then maybe having servers for the bigger bases, to shard it down if it gets busy in the actual system, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So we'll have to see what happens, but we're not there yet. I mean, let's just get 3.0 in, live for everybody to see.
When is 3.1 coming? When is 3.1 coming?
Yeah, we're never happy. When's the next bit?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much more stuff. I mean, you look at the reworks of the ships as well that we'll get to fly, let alone all the other content. There's lots to look forward to.
Did you see the patch notes that someone put on Reddit?
No, I haven't seen the. I haven't been going out of my way to look at things that dodgy testers have leaked.
It's just the patch notes. You can actually download the patch note now without having, but you can't log in, obviously.
Oh, can you? I haven't tried.
That's what someone posted on Reddit. It's not a private link or anything. You can just download the patcher, but you can't log in.
All right, so you don't have to be in the ETF to get access to the new patcher then?
It doesn't look like it, but you can't do anything with it. You can just download the patcher and that's it, really. Can't log in or anything. So.
Okay.
But it looks interesting. It's cleaner than the current one. It's like, very sort of, very flat colors. Like one color for the background, and so it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just checking my launcher now to see whether I get any update.
I don't think you will until, but someone put on Reddit that, launcher revamp. It's in the front. It looks pretty tight, actually. I like it a lot. Let me show it to you.
If I could type my password in, right, wouldn't it?
Here it is.
Yeah, no, it obviously is. You might be able to get it, but you'd have to know what the link is to be able to get hold of it. So again, technically, it's a leak.
That's how it looks.
Nice.
It's clean. It's clear. It's nice.
Yeah, that's all you want, isn't it? As nice as the old one is, the new one does look a lot crisper. Is the right one? It works. It looks right on Windows 10.
Yes, exactly. That's my thought too. It looks very modern, sort of more recent OS as opposed to sort of Windows XP.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, coming back to the notes for the burn down, going through it, without you guys being able to listen to the audio, obviously you're not hearing what's going on in these meetings, but it's really, really interesting interplay between the two different, the multiple different parties at different locations. And I recommend, if you haven't seen it yet, to watch it, because it really is interesting to see just how the excitement's building within the teams as they get closer to the actual go decision.
Yeah. Did you see that guy? The one guy who you were commenting about last episode, who's like sitting on his phone? He was sitting on his phone again.
No, I didn't notice. No, you never know. He might. They might all be. That might all be work related. He might be looking at the support Slack group, if there is such a thing. So it could be a legitimate.
I'm sure it could be, but it's just
work.
Amazing to me. He's always on his phone looking down. So,
no,
I don't know who he is. Maybe someone else knows. I don't know.
I think he's and this again. I don't have the organization chart to hand on my wall, so that sort of detail I don't have. But I think he's quite senior in the Manchester studio.
So Chris spends most of his time in LA, though, right?
Yes, I believe so.
I thought Mark, he's like, yeah, I got some bugs for you. This is asking,
Exactly.
He's like, give me anything you want to work on right now. Tell me, because otherwise you have to work on what we tell you. Basically, was the gist of that little meeting. You have up until now to tell me what you want to work on, sort of thing. We got to get this out the door. Which is good to see, sort of rushing. Although they're probably working crazy hours.
Yes, yeah. I mean, 12 plus hours is the rumor from social media, Reddit, and so on. There's they obviously have been crunching for a considerable number of weeks to get this done, and
Yeah.
obviously it's paid dividends. But they can't do that forever because people will start getting sick. And they do mention that somebody that they rely on is actually sick in one
Yes,
of
they do.
these segments, so it's obviously taken a toll. So hopefully, now that there's external testers involved, they can start doing a little bit, some fewer hours, but still obviously.
Did you notice?
Work on the
Did
rest
you notice
of it.
that?
What?
Watch the background in a second. Right there.
What? Sandy in the background.
Yeah, she's like pacing and she's got her hands folded and she looks all impatient. It's pretty funny.
Maybe they've nicked her office.
She's like, "Yeah, get out of my office."
You never know. No, I didn't notice the first time I watched it.
I didn't notice either, and I was like, she's just, she looks like impatient, like she wants him to finish.
Yeah. Well, they might. We obviously only see the juicy bits, but
know.
these meetings would likely go on for a considerable amount of time.
Yes, probably. Well, that's what managers do. They organize things.
Well,
Make sure everything's
the good ones do. The old ones, the bad ones, just make it look like they're organizing things. But I'm sure all CIG's management are actually from the earlier of the two categories.
Well, they've had enough long enough to get the right people. So,
Yeah,
looks interesting.
this
The
was
fleet
good,
manager. Yeah, the fleet manager. Did you see that? It was very interesting to see. This is the first time I've seen this. Whole
I've
new
not seen
layout.
it before. Because they were talking about here that one of the big bugs they had during the middle of the week was that people were able to buy back destroyed ships.
Right.
And so this here is the first time that I can recall of seeing the actual new insurance mechanic
Yeah,
on
that's the first time I've seen
the
it.
ship management side.
It looks
And it looks
pretty decent.
really, really nice.
I was really wondering what they were going to do with that, whether it was going to be, the interface to me was just really interesting to see what they did with it, and it looks like they made something fairly easy to use and not over, fairly easy to use and easy to understand, and
Yeah, exactly. It does what it says on the tin.
Yeah, it looks
and
simple.
also, it's good to show there that even if you have LTI on your ship, you still have to wait for it to come back, or you have to pay a bit earlier.
Mhm.
So, proof there that LTI isn't everything.
Yeah, I have a sneaky suspicion that it might become more than something at a later point. If people start complaining that when it comes into effect, like, oh, there's insurance in the game, and then it's not as good as you think.
People are complaining about everything.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
But they were just showing to this bit here. You might have noticed while we were yapping on that they were flying through the Cutlass and there were bits missing. That was part of the bug. So you could spawn your broken ship, but a lot of the components wouldn't be there because it'd been destroyed.
Well, it would actually, the parts of the components weren't added into the ship when they were created. I don't know. I don't remember exactly why they weren't added in. I think it was something to do with item 2.0, but and links between various components and the insurance system. I think it was links between the files, or he said they weren't linked up properly. So it didn't take him long to just link them up and away you went, sort of thing. So
Yeah, exactly. They've been mashing these bugs as they come
merging software branches is, can be, you miss things, and things you don't connect up things you forgot about. And
communication is key. When you have these big handovers, if because you've been working 12 hours, you forget to put a couple of bullets in your handover notes and people don't know about it, it causes issues and slows things down. This was the bug about quantum travel around planets.
The bug was the fact that they raised the atmosphere level, so the atmosphere was further out.
Yeah, they made the atmosphere thicker, but they didn't the automatic
Quantum travel points.
Quantum travel points were moved out automatically, so it meant people couldn't quantum travel around the actual planet because it won't let you quantum travel through a atmosphere.
Yeah.
So they had to manually change the.
That's because they manually did the points. If in the future they will be automatic once they get that set up, but the code isn't there for that right now. So right now they'd have to manually place them. So.
Yeah, and the reason why they changed the atmosphere they mentioned is because they had to just make it look a bit Hollywood, right? Because the thickness of the atmosphere on the planetoids that we'll get in 3.0, there's hardly anything there. So you were getting the burn animations when you were entering the atmosphere when you were pretty close to the surface, and the feedback was that it didn't look right. It looked weird. That's why they made the atmosphere thicker, so that they ended up using Earth as the example for all of these planets. So it looks and felt right when people were entering the atmosphere.
Well, we'll see if that sticks. I don't know. I think they may end up, maybe when they have other planets that are different, as opposed to that have thicker atmospheres, you can leave those as Earth-like and make the other ones slightly thinner. So I think.
Well, I mean, they could do it another way, couldn't they? They could make the intensity of the atmosphere entry differ depending on how thick the atmosphere is. So obviously, if it's a thinner atmosphere, it slowly ramps up as it gets thicker, closer to the surface, but it's there a little bit earlier. Whereas with something like Earth, it's there pretty much straight away, and it stays at that intensity because it's a thick atmosphere. Maybe they just need to do something like that.
Yeah, it's funny how these bugs occur. I like watching them.
Yeah, I think this was the most enjoyable burn down section I've.
It's definitely the most enjoyable burn down section that I've used. I've watched, I should say. It just was more interesting. You could see more in depth. You could see them, having discussions, and they didn't really sort of get in one-to-one sort of situations too much in the previous ones. It was more sort of snippets of information from various meetings. And this was the last bug before they went live.
Yeah. Everybody desperately seeing whether they could actually say it's been resolved. I think at this point they're saying that they fixed it in this morning's build,
right?
Which is exciting.
Yes. How long do you think before PTU then? 2-3 weeks? Usually that's the standard.
For the first rave.
Yeah, first wave, yeah.
I would be surprised if it happened before CitizenCon.
You think it'll happen in Addison CitizenCon?
Well, that would be cool, but I think they might have to push it a bit, and the ETF would have to work a lot harder than normal to get, depends on how they're doing it, I guess. Whether they're going to be going 3.0.1 later on, and just the 3.0 is literally just what the ETF are doing right now, and then they'll have a 0.0.1 for the cargo stuff when they test it. If they have smaller sub builds, it depends on how they
but do you think
get out and how good the QA people have been internally.
That's what I'm saying.
You never know, it might already be fixed.
They might already be pretty far along, because they did say originally that they wanted to sort of get it pretty close to release before they even gave it to the Evocati. So do you think they're further along than they would necessarily normally be when they give it to an Evocati, or do you think?
I think I remember, because I watched this last night coming back from work on the train, and I think they said they've got 17 must-fix bugs now before PTU. That's not that many.
No, you could do that in a week.
Yeah, could
but
do.
You're gonna get. They're going to
find new ones.
Yeah, well,
17 that they know of, and then Evocati will pick up some more. So I don't know. It's possible. It's possible we could see it for CitizenCon, and it would be awesome if we're watching the CitizenCon presentation, blah blah blah, and then they say, oh, by the way, PTU first wave will be in as of now. That would be awesome.
What do you think they're going to do for CitizenCon?
I don't know. I think. Oh no! I've just realised I'm going to be away for CitizenCon. I'm going to be in Centre Parks. Yeah, I'm going to be in Centre Parks for the week because it's my birthday on the 1st of November. So I'm going to be away, and if I watch it, I'll have to be watching it on my bloody mobile phone. So I might have to pick it up afterwards. So you might have to make notes this time.
Yes. But if I get in on the PTU, I'll be streaming. So. Oh
yeah. You can just basically wind me up. Send me messages on messages. Say, I'm already in. Look at this. Just send me a bloody screenshot of your character standing on Dalamov with his fingers up or thumbs up or something. I'll be like, you bastard.
Yes.
But hey, something to look forward to when I get back anyway. But it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a good presentation. I personally think the CitizenCon is going to be more about Squadron 42. I think they said that.
That would be so nice, but I really doubt it.
I think they said that at Gamescom that's what they're expecting to show. So I wouldn't be surprised if it focuses on that now that 3.0 is effectively out, all bar the bug squishing. You know.
Yeah, it's feature
So
complete.
that's what I think. I'm hammering those colours to my mast. That's what I think is going to happen.
Is that why the hat? Is that because of the hat?
No, I just happen to. I wish I hadn't worn the hat. To be honest, it's a bit warm in here. I might take it off in a minute. But yeah, I think it's going to be PTU first wave at CitizenCon, and CitizenCon is going to focus on the first episode of Squadron 42, which we'll see at Christmas.
Do you think they're gonna do 4.0 at Citizen?
That would be the best way to mic drop for the whole year, wouldn't it? 3.0 PTU and the first I don't know 6 missions of Squadron 42. Boom, and then everybody
jump
gets
points and say it's out by Christmas.
And then cue all the memes of Chris with the deal with it shades on. Because that'll happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so. I mean, it might be asking a bit much considering how hard they've worked to get 3.0 ready, but ultimately
I've already said Squadron 42 is not coming out this year. Come on.
Well, not all of it.
It's
episodic, isn't it?
It's not going to
They could do the first episode.
Come on now. Realistically speaking, it took
I choose to be overly positive.
10 months to do a patch.
Yeah, but think about it. Squadron is effectively stage managed, right? Everything that happens is already programmed, and it's all
but they
AI
still need
focused.
AI. They still need, all this other subsumption stuff. It's only completed now.
We'll talk about the usables, which was last week's ATV. They've come a long way with that already.
Yeah, but come on.
I just think they've been sandbagging a bit, and they're a lot further on than we think.
Oh, come on, dude. You know better than that. You're just way too optimistic.
I know. That's why this stream works, because I'm Mr. Optimistic and you're Mr. No, it's not happening.
Who is right more often?
Shut up. That's the curse of the optimist.
Yes, you're wrong more often than not.
Yeah.
So I guess that was the end of that. I'm going to switch to usables.
Mm-hmm. But the main thing to take away from that section, ladies and gentlemen, is the ETF have the first build. So now we're on the road to PTU and live. We've got over that massive first hurdle, and from there it's literally just time.
Mm-hmm. It's a go, as they say.
Time and good testing.
It's real. People can't deny it's real now.
Yeah. People can take off their tinfoil hats. It's real.
It's real. That's so. What usables?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I found it really interesting how they're actually doing it.
I didn't find turrets quite as interesting, but I definitely found usables pretty interesting.
Well, I let the hat's coming off. It's too hot. No, this was brilliant. They spend an awful lot of time talking about what it used to be like, which is here,
cafeteria,
and how things are now. And it really, a lot of it really does look natural, not this bit, but later on.
Well, a lot of it's context as well. You the area surrounding it. It's not natural, so it's hard to picture him being natural.
Yeah, true. And they're talking about the fact that the usable informs the AI what actions are available to it,
right?
Rather than it just being completely and totally, handcrafted. There's a number of different things you can do with this usable, and the AI just chooses whatever makes sense for which direction he's or she is approached the usable, what their current AI mission is, or job. It's going to look good.
So you can they can enter from any angle and it not be a problem animation wise, basically.
Yeah, because they added they took in this one. They started talking about IK. Now I've never heard of that before, and not being into, animation or anything like that. I still don't know. I'd have to Google it. But I think it's literally adding a little bit of play in where you can actually activate something, and it kind of rather than snapping fine frames towards you, it's adding a little bit of flex into how the animations all blend together, without it looking jarring.
Well, they're speeding this up, so that looks a little jarring. But yeah, I know. This is pretty natural.
Yeah, it's cool. I love the way he drinks the out of the cup. Although, to be honest, he looks like that cup's supposed to have a handle, and it doesn't. But
I thought it did. I thought it was just glass.
Yeah, it looks like he's grabbing hold of a handle and drinking like an old school pint glass.
Right, that's what it looks like. I think there's just that glass handle, so you couldn't really see it very well.
Oh yeah, it could be. I am wearing glasses.
I think it does have a glass handle. It's just very hard
But
to see.
it does looks real, doesn't it? For want of a better way of putting it. Yeah, they've done a great job on the animations. I mean, obviously, most of it is motion captured, so of course it's going to look real, right? But it does look good, and it just goes to show that the amount of detail and work they put into it is paying dividends.
Yeah, I mean, does look pretty awesome. Atmospherically, animation-wise, it's some of the best animations I've ever seen. But that, doesn't always room for improvement, I say.
Yeah. I don't know why he's wearing shades inside, but whatever. Perhaps he just had a few too many beers.
Maybe he can't look at his mobile glasses too bright. I don't know.
Or maybe they're smart glasses.
Yes, probably. Yeah. That would be pretty awesome.
Uh-huh. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't mind a pair of them.
Yeah, with sort of like Google in the vision. So
yeah.
Have you tried the Google Glass? Have you ever tried that?
No, I never tried that. I'm still umming and ahhing about getting an Oculus Rift. The amount of hours I put in playing Elite Dangerous, I really should.
You should do, because it's really good on VR. If you like Elite Dangerous, you should try it.
I'm just waiting to see whether the Xbox One X supports it. If it does, then I'll get one, because then I can use it in both downstairs and upstairs.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, I'm not going to segue to Elite Dangerous. So I do that too much.
Well, we all know you like your Elite Dangerous.
That's only because 3.0's not out yet.
Yeah, well, there is that. They haven't given us
not out to me personally, because I'm not a protein-rich fruit.
So multi-tool. There we go. Where are we going? Got some more interesting. So
this was really cool.
Do you think these guys wander around in their specific areas where they can work on and they randomly pick them, or do you think they're scripted in terms of?
I don't think they're hard scripted. I think they've got a list of things they can do. Like he's not going to be doing this at the same time every single day, for example. I think it is. There's a lot of proceduralness to it. Proceduralness, if that isn't a word.
No, that's right.
But yeah, there's going to be a number of things they can do. I think they'll probably have paths, and depending on which usable they can actually come in range of, they may or may not decide to go and do something with that based on the probability that usable is actually given. I wouldn't be surprised if that's how they do it. Well, sorry, am I keeping you up?
Well, it's late here, so
yeah, I know. I had to get that dig in. It's all good.
It's 4 a.m., but it's okay.
You're nuts.
Yeah. Dear. Anyway,
I'm just looking at my notes. But yeah, the multi-tool was good. And they do a section in a minute where you've got a bunch of people sitting around an one of the long mess hall tables.
I really like the way they did that.
That was really cool.
I like the way the one on the end is sitting backwards, facing the opposite direction, away from the table.
He's too good. He's too good for those cadets. Yeah. He's just sat there going, "Yeah, I'm just here, chilling out."
See, that animation was poor. The way he moved around the table.
Looks like a proper simulant, wasn't he?
Yeah, he just turned.
This looks cool, doesn't it?
There you go, backward sitting.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I don't know what he's doing. The guy on the end seems to be looking at that guy's clothes going, "What? I'm going to steal his pen."
That guy should be turning around and sitting the opposite direction. Hopefully he, so the animation starts forward and then he turns around and sits on it.
Yeah. I wonder if you can sit backwards on the bench. So instead of sat up there eating your food, you can sit backwards and look the other way.
Backwards on a usable option.
Yeah. But this looks cool, doesn't it? It's like, everybody, 1, 2, 3, go and eat. Although that one dude was freaking out in the background there. Do you see that?
He was jittery, super jittery, but yeah.
But that looks really nice, doesn't it?
It does. This was work for Squadron 42 right here.
Mm-hmm.
You come and sit at the mess hall and everyone's, talking to you and stuff like that.
So they say this is the new work in progress, but we have no idea when this was done. This could have been done months ago. It says Mr. Optimist.
Yeah, it says Mr. Optimist.
Yeah.
I've been optimistic in the past and I've been burned hard. So I've become
I
more
just
of a
don't let it bother
realist.
me if I'm wrong anymore. I've got so many other things going on. It doesn't matter if I'm wrong about this.
Yeah, I got a lot of video games right now to play. So, what have we got? Anything else in this one?
Not really, because the guys can't, the viewers can't actually listen to it. But one guy puts a proper pun in. It was brilliant. He said he was walking on the toilet systems, and he had to flush out their systems, which is brilliant. It's like something I would come up with if I was doing that interview.
Yeah, terrible joke. I know.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Well, I'm a dad, isn't it? So it's a proper dad joke. Yeah, it was good. But no, this is a really, really good section, and it really goes to show something as simple as going to get your mess hall tray, which they don't show, but he does talk about it. It's not literally just like, I'm going to get this tray and I'm going to walk off. You go in, you get the tray. That means your player becomes the owner of the tray. You then get a cup. You then become the owner of the cup. Then you get a knife and a fork and a plate and so on. And then it all meshes on the parent, which is the tray. It becomes effectively the owner of everything. And then you go and walk and sit down with it. Like that, literally something as simple or banal in the background as that is mega complicated.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that could go tits up, as it were.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure many people, myself including, have unfortunately dropped a tray worth of stuff when doing that in real life. So it happens. I wonder if that'll actually be in there as well, like a fail to use the tray. You drop everything.
Maybe in Squadron, but I don't think elsewhere.
No, not like some sort of RNG on the AI where the AI can fail with their tray. That would be hilarious. And barracking from the rest of the tables.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we'll switch to turrets.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the turrets, I don't know how you feel about them, but, whenever I've stowed away in somebody's ship and tried to partake in shooting down some pirates in the turret, I've always found it unsatisfying, almost impossible to aim, and
yeah, it is.
really, really, really clunky. But this looks really, really good. The way they've changed it.
It does look a lot better. I don't necessarily, at the moment, I'll have to see it to check it out, but I don't like the way it stops you shooting yourself.
Well, you want to blow your own ship up?
No, but I would like to be able to make that mistake.
Yeah, well, but in a dogfight, that's going to be a nightmare. You're going to end up having people disabling their own ships. They had to do something.
The sensation of like it refusing to shoot. You know what I'm saying? You're just shooting, you're turning, you're firing, tracking, and then all of a sudden it goes.
Well, there's two ways they could do it. They could do it this way by having the gimbals on the guns effectively know where you shouldn't be able to shoot, which is what they do right now. Right. So you'll see in a minute on the video where they explain that previously you could shoot your own ship, whereas now you can't do that because they've programmed in limits to the rotation of the guns and the turret. Mm-hmm. So effectively you've got an invisible little template around your own ship so you can't shoot. Which is that little, you can only just make it out. There's a little cross just above the crossbar at the top of the turret, and that's where the guns are shooting. So the round reticle is where your player's looking, and the cross is where the guns are aiming. As you can see, it moves slightly when you start looking, potentially it's shooting your own ship.
I just think that it's really, the proof is in the pudding and testing and stuff, and I want to check it out and see whether it's good or not. But I don't like the idea of them all of a sudden I'm turning, and they're just like zoop. And then
I suppose after a while you get used to it. Remember, the pilot's going to be moving the ship as well, so the chances are, unless they're right,
you shouldn't feel the effects of the ship moving as much.
No, but obviously you will. If the ship turns, I see what you mean. I'm thinking about the way it currently is.
No.
The turret continues to be
gimbaled, so that you should be technically able. If the ship
so you keep looking where you're aiming, whether the ship moves or not. Yeah, so it's a completely separate gimbal. Okay. Well, we'll see, but it looks a lot more usable. I mean, me and you've got plenty of ships with turrets, so we'll be testing the hell out of it when we get the chance. Yeah. Got any spare ETF places, CIG? We'd love to test it for you. Had to get that in there.
I think he
But
wants
yeah,
to be ETF, just in case you weren't clear on that one.
no, I just think, we've both tested games before many times. We could give feedback, but then I'm sure there's like hundreds of thousands of other people who follow Star Citizen who would say the same thing. So whatever. Luck of the draw, innit? We have to prove it by putting a lot of bugs in when we get in the PTU.
Yeah, well, I did test the crap into it. I got last time on 2.6, but it was like 20. It was like 20 builds in like a week, and downloading.
Without the Delta patch, it's painful. This time, from now on, it should be a lot easier. Hopefully,
easy, hopefully, as long as they don't screw it up. But
nah, they're not going to knacker that up. The one thing that they all encourage belief that everybody knows they're all professional, know what they're doing. But the guy who runs the infrastructure for CIG, he talks sense every single time. He's like,
the boss.
Yeah, he's obviously knows his shit.
Yeah. Well, I think. Do you think you would recommend it to people now? Other people who've not done Star Citizen?
What do you think we would recommend it?
Or do you think you would? I'm asking you personally. Are you going to be like to your other friends? You should check this out now. It's 3.0.
I've already been doing it since the Hangar module came out.
Right, but you
but yes,
push it harder. You know what I mean? Like
I probably would. Yeah, I mean, I've got a few people who are playing other games that I've recommended, which I won't mention because I keep talking about it. And I'm
Divinity.
No, Elite Dangerous again.
Oh God.
Because I play it on the Xbox and the PC because I'm obviously mental and like to repeat what I'm doing twice. But yes, I will definitely be saying to people, look, when 3.0 hits live, I'll just basically be ranting about it on Facebook, and to anybody I know who's got a PC that can play it and like space games, which who doesn't, I'd say, look, you have to get this game.
Yeah, I will be trying to push it. Well, for the people I know that play video games, anyway.
Yeah, definitely. It's
I
impressive.
might buy an account for my daughter. She can be my turret gunner.
Well, yeah, why not? I mean, mine don't play PC games, so they're currently playing the Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta, which is available this weekend. So they're playing that on the Xbox at the moment.
Yeah, the Battlefront 2 looks really good, actually. I might get
that.
Yeah,
it is good. I had a bash at it last night for about an hour after I got off the train. It's much better than the previous game. There's a lot going on with it. It's much more complicated. Well, not much more complicated. They have fleshed a lot of the things out. There's like 30 odd vehicles, whereas in Battlefront 1 there was only like 11. And the conquest mode is much bigger. It's like like the Battlefield games of old, where you had conquest and you had to fight yourself across the map and fill out different objectives.
Watched a streamer do a thing where he was like protecting this, like he was a droid, like Roger droid.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I do love that. And the Starfighter mode, oh my god, that is so much better than the previous. It's brilliant. It really is good. And they, of course, being Star Wars, they've got everything right. The sounds right. All the different ships sound perfect, and you can fly inside the cockpit, so you can actually, fly about in an X-wing in the cockpit. It looks really good. And I think they did bring out a VR for Battlefront 1, I think, for the PlayStation, where you could actually fly starfighters whilst being in the cockpit in VR. So this is even better again. Although Jen, that's my wife, she she was watching me play the Starfighter because, of course, it's like 6 degrees of freedom, so you rotate and turn around, and she was like, I can't watch that, I'm going to bath. But yeah, it's good. It's good.
Okay.
Well, but Star Citizen is going to be obviously much better. But yeah,
well, it's not an MMO.
Well, we wait.
But yeah.
Well, we wait.
Yeah, exploration is a big part of this. So originally, I didn't even know you could shoot through the ship. Previously, that's
because we hardly ever used the bloody turrets, didn't we?
Yeah, nobody uses turrets.
Oh, did you hear it? Did you watch the game dev happy hour last night where they were building out the space whale? Did you watch the space whale? Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it. No.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was really, really good. It was worth watching. Really interesting. Every time they do that, it really does show how much work goes into it. But the thing to take away from it is that the Carrack has started production.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's pretty awesome. That's my favorite ship. Where's everyone's favorite ship, really, isn't it? To be honest.
Yeah, it's because from the concept, it is pretty much it's good. It's going to be brilliant, but it depends on what they do with it. So you just got to wait now. So it's a very exciting time to be following Star Citizen.
Everybody I see says, "I can't wait for the Carrack. I can't wait for the Carrack. I can't wait for the Carrack." I don't hear.
Yeah, we've been waiting months.
I don't hear that about many of the other ships. I don't hear you like, "Oh, Crucible. I'm waiting for the Crucible. I'm waiting for the Crucible." Or
it's one of those ones. It's become iconic, a little bit like
Polaris
the 890 jump. Everybody keeps banging on about that, or for the wrong reasons. But yeah, the Carrack itself, it's going to be great. And we've only got concept art. We haven't seen anything, not even grey box, nothing. Same as the Merchantman. That's another one of the ships which everybody bangs on about. And the only thing people know about it is that it's going to be massive and can carry a lot of cargo. That's all we know. We don't even know which bit of the concept art is the front. You know what I mean? But people are still excited about it. And that's what makes Star Citizen one of the most interesting projects of its type to follow, because there's so much that the community gets involved with, simple things like that.
Yeah. So they were talking about the way like you could enter from the turret from the side just then. You can enter the angle which you can enter the seat from, the way it spins in and spins out, so that you're facing the right direction when you reach the top. So like basically you enter from the side, but then when you reach the top, you're entering face forward, so you're looking straight ahead. So
I didn't quite gather whether they meant that if you enter it straight ahead, you always look behind, but if you enter it sideways, it goes front.
You can pick the angle you enter the chair at, so you could literally the chair could be side on to you when you enter.
And that's the way the turret then aims when you get in.
And then you can change the angle, so you could, if you really want to, you could have it set so that you're facing backwards. So it doesn't matter which. You can set the angle, like whether it's a 180, 360, 270, or whatever angle you want to be, you can set it. Like that's the way enter
before you get in the seat. Yeah.
Before you
that's good. Yeah, I mean, one of the other things they did mention, which is again, you can't really hear what they're saying because they talk about it, they don't show it to you, is that they're talking about expanding the way that the different crew seats in the ship in multi-crew work, so that if you've got multiple turrets, you can you can see what somebody in the top turret is targeting, so you could potentially target the same thing they are, and people can target priority targets to say, look, I think give me some help shooting this thing down. So you can start working together if it's in the right arc for your turret to take out something which somebody has identified as a threat. Could also, if you've got the captain who doesn't have access to any of the guns, he could start targeting ships to say, look, blow that thing up because it's got a lot of torpedoes in it and I want to keep my ship, which is really good.
You can switch the fire rate now. So that
that was cool.
So the alternating fire, like if you have 4 guns, like on the Hurricane, and you could. Is it the Hurricane? I think it is the Hurricane.
Yeah, it is the Hurricane. Has got 4.
You can like repeat all 4, like in the X-wing on when it was like you could like fire them independent of each other, and you could get a steady stream of lasers.
Single fire, dual linked, or all 4 together. I think it was.
Yeah.
But that's good, because it means that obviously if you've got a lot of experience in a turret, you would want to have them linked so that when you shoot, all 4 ordnance hits the same target. But if you're not quite so confident, you can go to dual or even single fire, so you're peppering the sky with ordnance in the old school way, but obviously it's lasers or whatever it is you got on your turret. Means you're more likely to hit it, which makes turrets a lot more more of a threat, because at the moment they're not really much of a threat to anybody.
No, I mean that's what makes the Constellation and all the other Caterpillar and all those other big ships kind of vulnerable, because the turrets suck so bad.
I mean, the Freelancer Miss, for example, we haven't seen the rework for it, but when that comes out, because it's got the rear turret, all those missiles, and the pilot controls those 4 guns, 2 on each side, that could be a real space superiority weapon.
So could cut.
You got somebody on the back turret with all the missiles they got access to, anti-fighter ahoy there.
Same with the Cutlass though. Like you have 6 S3s in there, 2 on the turret.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Same deal with anything with the turret. It's just that the Freelancer Miss has a lot more missiles.
Is kind of meh. I mean, it's okay, but it's not really scary. But with the turret, then it becomes scary because they can fire at you while you're chasing them.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
That's why it becomes scary, because like if you're a small superiority fighter like a Saber or Hornet or whatever, chasing someone down, firing at them from behind becomes, it's just like, you know, have you ever done the co-op, the Vanguard, fighting a Vanguard in co-op when they fire back with their turret?
No, I haven't played that.
So it's really annoying because like you're above them because the turret's on top, and then you get fired at by the turret even though they're flying away from you. So you have to like fly underneath them because the turret's on the top. So
it makes things with turrets a lot more of a threat.
Yes, it does.
And it would also mean something like a Super Hornet would be, you know, have an edge when you've got a
Very
decent
scary.
person in the turret.
Yeah.
Over, you know, any other fighter almost. I mean, it's got more
Maybe the
armor
Hurricane.
than the Hurricane.
Maybe
Yeah, the Hurricane might be the other one, but
Yeah.
the Hurricane's going to be lightly armored. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'd still put my
Won't
money
take
on
much of
a
a beating.
Super Hornet in a one-on-one there.
I think you could be right. I mean, it just makes the Super Hornet very scary with that extra turret, second seat for the, you know, second co-pilot who can also manage shields.
Makes it more relevant.
Oh yeah, it makes it really, really, like, it makes it like a maneuverable cutlass, which is scary enough in itself.
Exactly. It's going to be a good ship now with the turret changes.
Yeah.
And they've had to redo the UI completely for turrets as well, which is what they mentioned in there. So everything you're seeing is brand new. They basically chucked away everything else they had before. And the radar there you got in the middle looks quite easy to understand, which is going to help.
Yeah. So that was it. That was both episodes. It was pretty good actually. This week especially was very good. Well, mainly because of Evocati. I mean, come on. But
yeah, it's been will they, won't they for quite a while.
Yeah, it has.
So it's good. It's good that we finally got there. You know, we'll see whether I'm right, and the first wave of PTU will be either before or at the same time as CitizenCon.
I think that's probably likely.
We'll just see what happens. But the important thing is we're getting there. Well, that doesn't happen very often.
I know. I don't. It doesn't. But I don't think we'll see Squadron before December. Never.
No. Well, I'll take a 50-50. Win one, lose one. You know.
Yeah.
But we'll see, because we haven't seen anything on Squadron for ages, even longer than 2.6.
Yeah.
You know, I think the last thing we saw was it 2015 with the Senate the Senate speech by Admiral what's his face. I think that was the last time we saw anything new for Squadron. I think
was the Morotor before that or after that.
I think that might have been roughly around the same time. I'm not entirely sure. I think if it was afterwards, then obviously that is the newest. But I still saw that as more of a mechanic test rather than something specific.
It's part of, I think that's part of like the intro, like when you first arrive on the Idris that you're flying around on.
Yeah, see, that's my point, right? That was, you know, it was okay. There were things they needed to flesh out back in 2015 or whatever that was. Since then, we've seen what the Idris is like on the inside, which means that it's not going to be a spoiler if we had access to that, you know. So why couldn't they give us, you know, the intro and the Morrow tour and able to walk around inside the Idris, but Christmas?
You really think they're just going to give you like a little tiny sliver of it? You don't think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe what they'll do is they'll have that and perhaps a couple of combat air patrols around the Idris itself, and maybe, you know, the first mission where you end up having to fight the Vandal.
Work that they're going to just throw away later.
Well, no, if that actually is the intro to Squadron 42, no massive story elements, but the introduction to the ship you're going to be serving on and what happens, that would still be good if that was the introduction to it. So kind of like the introduction, and then we get season 1 of Squadron in the new year.
That would be, let's put it this way, I would love that, but that feels very unlikely. But I would love it if that was the case.
Yeah.
So
we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, you could be the optimist. I'll just feed off your optimism. There you go.
Yeah, I know, it's good. I'll keep feeding you with the good vibes. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. I mean, at the end of the day, there's lots of stuff out there around 3.0 if you had a mind to go and look for it. Not that I personally condone anything like that. But for now, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Hopefully, the first wave of PTU will be only in a couple of weeks. So fingers crossed.
I think it should be around by Citizen Con. I mean, that's my guess. I mean, unless there's some major, I think it'll really depend on the bugs. But yeah, unless there's some major bugs, then I think it should be soon-ish.
Yeah, and unless something horrendous happens because of the load that they're putting on the servers.
Yeah, because this is the first time I think that they said that they've had. It's hard for them to get 24 people together on the server at the same time. So this will be.
But given the platform, with the EC2 regions and everything else, if they get it right for one small set, it should just scale. Unless there's something wrong in the back end.
I mean, as long as they're spooling up as an extra EC2 server, it's not that big a deal.
There's probably all automated.
It's probably.
Yeah.
I think it'll just spool up automatically and just kick in, and even if you need the content, then it just kicks in automatic.
Yeah, I expect that's what happens. And an awful lot of games do things like that these days. But yeah,
back end services then.
Yeah, exactly. It'll all be based on the load in general. It's a lot more complicated than that, right? But that's how it works. It's not just idea. That's a very, very, very high level overview of what will happen.
It just spools up.
Yeah, it'll be invisible to us, but that'll be what's going on. And obviously, from CIG's perspective, the busier it is, the more money they have to pay Amazon.
Maybe they don't even have to pay them because of their lumberyard deal.
Well, yeah, maybe that would be the nirvana, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is still a tariff to pay somewhere because it is Amazon.
Yeah, it is Amazon.
They got to pay for all their Prime sales somehow, haven't they?
Yeah.
When is Black Friday anyway? I can never work it out because not being American.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
It's usually the day after Thanksgiving because the Thanksgiving's on the last Thursday of the month of November.
Right. I'll have to save some pennies. Got enough time to wait.
Is that even a thing in the UK, Black Friday?
Oh yeah, they have it over here now as well. They have Black Friday, and then was it Digital Bloody Wednesday or something? Cyber Monday. That's it. Cyber Monday. Yeah, I couldn't believe it the first time that happened. I was like, really?
Yeah, it's like you get some really good online deals on Cyber Monday.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about spending money. But I think I'm done spending money on Star Citizen. But I don't mind giving my time to do stuff like this.
Well, I gotta switch some things around. I might upgrade. I might buy another big ship. I might buy a Carrack or something.
Yeah. No, you've got to buy a reclaimer. That's your job.
I do have to buy a reclaimer.
Yeah, you did say you were going to.
Yeah, I'll buy a reclaimer. I don't mind. It's like what, $300, something like that.
Yeah, drop. You'll find that down the sofa, won't you?
Yeah, it's in my back pocket right now.
Anyway, I think we're pretty much done here with what we got to talk about. Obviously, we're all rather excited about the fact that 3.0 has finally started its steps towards coming into our grubby little mitts. But yeah, it's a good time to be following the game.
It is. It's been a long dry spell. So
why do you think I drink so much when we're on these streams,
Yeah.
It's too dry.
It's a dry spell. And
I've run out of coffee.
It's time we got into the game and started streaming and do some crazy stuff. I really wanted. One thing I noticed. I saw a video of someone doing a drive-by or flyby, whatever you want to call it, and listening to the sound of it. I want to do a drive-by of each individual ship and see how they sound because they've sounded amazing.
I think between the two of us, we've got enough. I think
we
cover most of them.
I drive by right close to the, like in flybys, with planes on Earth.
Yeah, so you can record the sound of the engines and
exactly,
stuff.
and just.
Did you pick up an X1?
X1? No, I didn't pick up the X1. Yeah, I have like 3 Noxes. I don't need it.
Yeah, so what I did with the last remaining credit I had left in my account, I upgraded my Black Nox to a Herald, so it's still one of my favorite designs as a ship. And I used the last of it to pick up a X1 Force, X1 Force, the one with bigger guns on it, basically. So we'll be able to, if that's in 3.0 or
I might
not
pick up
soon
a
afterwards.
Tumbrel. I might pick up a Tumbrel during a CitizenCon, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's probably it's probably good that I'm going to be away for that, because I just relent. I just relent and buy something.
Yeah,
so if I'm not around,
something, I'm going to actually swap my Buccaneer for a Saber, because I don't actually have a Saber. I use Wreck to buy my Saber all the time.
Yeah, for me, there's one ship I might get back, and that would be the Vanguard, because I've always regretted. I swapped my Vanguard for a Merchantman just before the price went up. So I think that was a prudent decision, but I think the Bano Defender is at a real risk of being upgraded to a Vanguard, because I have always liked the idea of a really solid
like the design of the Defender ship at all. I don't
know
like the design of it.
I just picked it up because, basically, hashtag alien ship. It looked good. Shoe. Yeah, exactly. So I might pick up the CCU and then work out whether I'm going to apply it or not once we see the grey box of it. But yes. I'm incorrigible. I can't help myself. I need to actually go. I need to go to Star Citizens Anonymous or something.
At least we're both concierge, so we can both get in the first wave and we can both mess around.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Once we've always promised that when we do get access to 3.0, and it's not under NDA, we'll record some stuff alongside this, or to supplement this quantum feedback. We might call it something else. I don't know yet. Just us messing about doing interesting things, or at least things we hope you'll find interesting. So watch this space. But again, it'll be fun if nothing else.
No, I think we'll do some fun stuff like skydiving. No parachutes though. Yeah, they said. So once you fall out of a ship, you're going to land in a big splat. yeah. That's why somebody has to catch you. Yes. It'd be nice if you could catch, do you see how low you could get someone? Swooping.
Yeah, that could be a thing. Actually, the whole community has to have some sort of video evidence of the altitude when they catch the faller, and maybe they could make it some sort of official CIG competition to see who can actually get the lowest and still not crash the ship. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Interesting. No, I think that's a good one. I think it'll be good. It could be unofficial on Reddit, if nothing else. Just for giggles. So I wonder which would be the easiest one to do it. I think, I reckon the Freelancer could be a good ship to catch people in, because there's no side doors for people to fall out.
Well, just don't open the side doors.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's an easier option. Didn't think of that. Just don't open the doors.
Well, that's what they did the second time when they actually caught the guy. They didn't have the doors open. The doors. Yeah, fall out
it'll be stuff like that the ETF will end up testing. Do the transition from the world's physics grid to the ship physics grid when you fall into a ship.
Do you think that would happen
does it do it? I don't know. That could just be a nightmare. But that's the sort of things people will do. They'll take a Nox up and then see if they can catch somebody riding the Nox. And then when they get massive torpedoes and they find a way to drop the torpedoes without them actually being fired, they'll have people riding torpedoes down and trying to catch them. All sort of random stuff. And then there'll be the Big Benny's machines. That'll be the next one. See, it's almost like an unlimited option, like potted plants. With 2.0, you can pick up almost anything. So you can see, right, I'm going to throw out, I don't know, insert random thing here that you can actually pick up. I don't know. We've all got far too much time on our hands. Yes, actually, no, we don't. We just do something stupid like you stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning to make the time that we need to do stuff like this. Anyway,
I think we should call it a day before I fall asleep.
Yeah, I think so. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Again,
yeah.
So the 3.0 is upon us. The avocados have it. Hopefully, in 2 weeks, the first wave of PTU players will have it, which would be us two, because we're stupid enough to be in the concierge group. And we'll have to wait and see when the NDA drops, when we can actually start sharing stuff. But we'll probably record stuff when we get access to it to start off with. We'll just respect the embargo.
Oh, the embargo will be gone by the time we get it.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. In which say, happy days. Hilarity will ensue. So yes, thank you very much for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed our little podcast, and we will see you next time. Take it easy.
Ta-da.